Previously on agentpalmer.com, Time Machine is a great reintroduction to Tim Minchin's smart music. In This Wheel's on Fire, Fire Helm adds needed voice to the band's end. And last episode was technically a double recording, as Zapata and I recorded another episode you'll hear eventually. This is the Palmer Files, episode 164, with Kat the Dungeon Mom, who is here to talk about being the game master, loving the performing arts, teaching, raising a child, concerts, events, and much, much more. Are you ready? Let's do the show!
There was a lot of like, wait, what numbers do what? I have to do math? This isn't a game. Because a lot of it is just like the confidence to either make a decision or the confidence to say, I don't know, let's negotiate. Listen, I've done so much therapy since then, just like so much. And it's fine now. It's totally fine. We always had a gaming system, and it was a result of a tragic accident that almost killed my oldest brother. Because other people are exhausting.
Hello and welcome to the Palmer Files. I'm your host, Jason Stershik, also known as Agent Palmer, and on this 164th episode is Kat the Dungeon Mom. I met Kat where most people meet people these days, online. The difference here is that Kat is a wonderful person, no longer a stranger to me, and another example that you can find and connect with good people online. Just don't spend too much time there. Maybe play some games, which we talk about. Maybe go to the theater, which we talk about too. You'll also hear us discuss writing and video game consoles, the concept of Let's Plays, comedy, therapy, learning by doing, and so much more. But before we get into all that, remember that if you want to discuss the episode as you listen or afterward, you can find all related ways to contact Kat the Dungeon Mom and myself in the show notes. You can see a link to all of Kat's respective stuff at linktree/Kat the Dungeon Mom. Don't forget you can see all of my writings and rantings on agentpalmer.com, and of course, email can be sent to thepalmerfiles@gmail.com. So without further ado, let's roll for initiative. Kat, you are the Dungeon Mom, so is this like, hey Mom, I'm going to raid a dungeon, get me some snacks? Is that?
No, not exactly.
Okay.
I wish I could say that there was like a super clever reason behind it, but really, my first TTRPG was Dungeons and Dragons, which I'm sure is the case for many people.
That's everybody's. Yeah. That was mine. Yeah.
And so the leader in Dungeons and Dragons, the person who sort of facilitates the whole game, is the Dungeon Master, or the DM for short. And I was like, DM can also be Dungeon Mom. That's what I went for. Again, not a huge big brain thing, but I was just like, this is just stupid enough that I love it.
When you do an RPG,
yeah,
I have DM'd once in my life.
Amazing.
I much prefer not the storytelling. I am a storyteller, but like when it comes to that, I would much rather just role play.
Yeah.
You clearly don't mind being in charge. Is that your preference? Like if I were to be like, hey, we got 4 people together, someone's going to have to DM.
Oh, 100%. I would be the one to be like, yeah, I'll do it. Not because of like a control freak kind of thing. Like I don't need to be in charge. It's more of like, I'm a nosy bitch and I need to know what's going on at all times. I don't like being in the dark.
Okay. So you want to be like, I'm going to put this trap in front of them and see what happens. You don't want to be like, well, where did this come from? That's my job, not your job.
Yes. I do love being a player. Don't get me wrong, but I am like, there's a common trope of the like forever DM where it's people who like, well, we wouldn't play if I didn't DM. Uh-huh. And in my home games, that tends to be the case. I am, cause my home game is mostly my spouse's family, but for online games, I do both. I am both a DM and I am a player in a bunch of actual plays, and I love them both, but I do tend towards the DMing just because like I want to know the full scope of the story.
Okay.
And sometimes I find myself when I am a player wondering about the like, oh, but what if we had gone this way? Or what if this interaction with this person had gone differently? And I get lost in the like sort of like the R.L. Stine choose your own adventure books.
But isn't that it? But don't you have that as the DM anyway? Like, I set this up, they could have gone these 3 directions, but they went this direction. So aren't you still sitting behind your whatever, your shield, if it were, and going like, but what if they had gone over here?
So, okay, I'm going to pull back the curtain a little bit.
Yeah.
There's going to be a little bit of that, but less than you would think. Because here's the thing. No matter what your players choose, you can always put the answer right in front of them.
Okay. I mean, I have to, as a player, I have to understand that. I have to see that.
Sure.
It's a different thing altogether, but
yeah, it's certainly the key to making the world feel more sandboxy than it necessarily is. I love and respect DMs like Brennan Lee Mulligan, Matt Mercer, who are like, I have a 30-page PDF document of the lore of this city, and I adorable. I love you boys so much. That's not me.
Okay.
I was an acting and improv teacher before I got into TTRPGs in 2020. And so I'm very much a like, here are the major plot points I need to hit. Here's the information they need to have. Wherever or however they choose to achieve those goals is on them. I'm just here to give them parameters.
All right. So does D&D start in 2020?
I mean, it started back in the 70s?
No. For you.
Yeah. So I got into D&D while I was pregnant during COVID lockdown.
Okay.
My wedding got canceled because we were supposed to get married in November of 2020. And my partner and I looked at each other and we were like, all right, so normally it's marriage, then baby, but let's flip-flop them because I'm going to be home for the foreseeable future and not doing anything. Yeah. So I might as well, cook a human. And so we did that, and we had a small, like 5-person backyard wedding in November on the day, which is when we announced the pregnancy to everybody. But during that time, some friends of ours were like, "Hey, one half of the couple was a forever DM and was like, hey, I want to run a D&D campaign. Do you guys want to play?" And we said, sure, but we didn't know the rules. So we started watching Dimension 20 with Brennan Lee Mulligan and the Intrepid Heroes to learn the rules. And then we were 5 episodes deep before we were like, oh, we actually like this show. So now I'm a big Dropout stan, which I think is entirely justifiable. But that was how I learned to play D&D, was watching other people play.
That tracks. So you and I have a few things. We were trying for a baby before we got married. We also got married in our backyard with 9 people. So we went a little bit, and we did announce to most of the people there that we were with child at the wedding. So that tracks. My wife learned Magic the Gathering by watching a very short-lived show from Geek and Sundry called Spellslingers with Day 9.
Oh, yeah.
And so I was like, I've been playing Magic since almost when it started. And so like, I was like, I want you to understand this, but like, this is a show I found that I enjoyed watching that kind of explains it as it goes along, and it's funny. And so that's kind of how she learned. And I think this is one of the things that's great about the internet is like you can, and then we became fans of the show and Day 9 as a personality and a streamer and other things. And that leads you to other things. And that's just kind of the way it works. But D&D is very much a very different, I think all of these things you learn by watching, and that's fine, but doing vastly different experience. Yeah. So what was your first, what was it like to just be, I mean, obviously we're talking COVID. So were you digital for the campaign?
Yeah. We were digital for the campaign.
So you weren't rolling actual rocks.
Oh no, we had physical dice.
Okay.
It was just on Zoom. Like we didn't have a virtual tabletop. We weren't that fancy.
So what was it like when it's like, all right, Kat, it's time to roll. And you're like, wait, what?
Yeah, there was a lot of like, wait, what numbers do what? I have to do math. This isn't a game. So I was actually very opposed at first. I struggled to enjoy it, but it was quality time with my spouse, quality time with our friends, and it was something to do that wasn't talking about COVID.
Okay.
So I did it, and I put up with it, and I played a Dragonborn fighter. And I think we only played like 5 or 6 sessions before I went into labor and like had our child. But somewhere in there, I was like, okay, there's something to this. And so even though the campaign was short-lived, we continued watching Dimension 20, and I continued like being into the game. We bought, you know, the Dungeon Master's Guide and the player handbook and all that stuff. And I tried to read it, and I was like, I'm too ADHD for this. That's never going to happen. And then I decided once, you know, the vaccines came out and it was safer to gather with people, we invited some family members over, and I was like, F it, I'm going to run a campaign. And I homebrewed it so that I wouldn't have to learn anybody else's lore.
Yeah.
And it was fun. I was terrible at it, but it was so deeply fun. And it just took off from there.
So you said at one point, well, what did you do before this? Like, what's your background like? Because obviously, like, storytelling, I mean, I feel like you could, I mean, you tell me you're a storyteller, and I'm like, well, I don't know what she is. She's an actor, a comedian, a writer. Like, you could be anything. So, like, what's your background? Or, you know, like, because obviously you had a skill set of, interest is one thing. But the skill sets required to be a DM, like those are not, I feel like you're either born with them or not.
I mean, I would say to some extent, like a lot of it can be taught or comes from practice.
Okay.
Because a lot of it is just like the confidence to either make a decision or the confidence to say, I don't know, let's negotiate.
Okay.
Because almost certainly someone at the table, unless you are all brand new, in which case it doesn't fucking matter anyway. Like chances are someone at the table is going to have some kind of inkling of like, oh yeah, this came up in another game I played, or I was reading about, like someone will know. And being able to trust that you can have a conversation with your players and have everyone not be an asshole about it makes a good table.
Yeah. Okay. But what's the background? Like, what do you have before this?
So I majored in arts administration and vocal performance in college.
Okay.
And I've had a string of teaching jobs, from teaching theater in an after-school program in Akron with a local playhouse to teaching kinder music, so like mommy and me music classes for babies. And then closer to sort of pandemic time, I started seriously studying acting, and I learned the Meisner method, which gets a lot of shit because it's a lot of weird, like repetition stuff. And I will debate anyone about anything with Meisner. I have strong opinions, loosely held. It is a weird method, but it is near and dear to my heart. And then from that, I started teaching Meisner and improv. And then COVID came and turned the world upside down.
Well, the teaching means that the leadership of a group of unruly players is not hard for you to deal with. And the improv background means that you can roll a little bit easier than, say, someone without an improv background.
Yeah. It helps.
But I want to ask this question.
Yeah.
If I tell 12-year-old Kat in the future you will be playing Dungeons and Dragons, do you believe yourself?
I'll be honest, I don't know that 12-year-old Kat would know what the hell you were talking about.
Okay.
But to answer the question you're asking, I don't think she would.
Okay.
I think she would be like, any future that involves like doing something fun for a job sounds insane. So I think finding that out would be a boon to her. I think she would be really excited about it.
Okay. I mean, what did you want at that point?
No lie, and I was just talking about this the other day. My greatest aspiration when I was 12 years old was to be a waiter at Olive Garden.
Well, I'm so confused. Why?
So I had gone on vacation to Disney with my family.
Okay.
It was my dad's like Christmas present to all of us. And we went to Olive Garden for dinner every night because several members of our family are like allergic to seafood, and like there was a lot of picky eating. So that was like the one place nearby that people could agree on.
Okay.
And I thought it was extremely fancy. I thought it was like the height of gourmet dining. It felt very upscale to me. And I was like, I want to work here when I'm older. And looking back on that, I'm like, oh no, there are so many red flags on the field. But someone needs to talk to this child.
But I only see one massive red flag, and that is you were at Disney and you chose you could like that's the only red flag I see. Like, wait, whoa. You didn't want a job at Disney? Like,
no, I didn't. That didn't feel real or attainable to me. That's crazy.
Well, I mean, I'll give you 1,000,000 points for practicality. I mean,
absolutely.
That's.
Listen, I've done so much therapy since then, just like so much. And it's fine now. It's totally fine.
Okay. All right. I mean, can you eat at an Olive Garden now, or is that like off? Is that triggering?
No, it's not triggering. It's just like I have a much more refined palate now in my mid to late 30s. And like I can, but I would not choose to.
I gotcha. Very nice. All right. So this is the question that I feel like I have to ask every geek or geek adjacent person. Are you a writer?
Oof.
What do you mean, oof?
Well, so there have been times in my life where I've been like, I want to write something.
Okay.
But that has never materialized into something that I've written.
So you don't start at all?
I mean,
not finishing is a whole different thing.
Yeah. Like barely starting. What in English class we were taught was the pre-writing stage.
Okay.
So like doing a story diagram or like writing out the beats of the whatever. But I haven't finished anything, and I think it is primarily because I do get so caught up in the moment, which I think is why improv has always pulled me more.
You have to be in the moment. That's
like taking that little nugget of inspiration and immediately building on it, as opposed to like, okay, here's a thing that is like long and planned out and meticulous. No, that's not my jam. And I think, and this is actually something I used to explain, like people who are big fans of like writing and really beautifully thought out dramas, they're Critical Role people. And then absolute fucking batshit insane improv nerds are Dimension 20 people. And like there's crossover. There's absolutely crossover, but you almost certainly lean one way or the other.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we kind of stayed away from some of that stuff just because we had a I don't know why we chose Pathfinder during COVID.
Amazing.
But and my now wife hadn't played anything substantial, and it was just the two of us, and my buddy who lived in an apartment at the time that was I don't know 15 minutes away. It was a 2-mile, but not walkable. But he would come. We had it basically during that whole pandemic. At least 3 years, he would come over every Thursday night for dinner. Because I was like, well, you're working from home. You have to come here. Like I don't care what socializing means in Zoom. You're in your apartment by yourself. Come over.
Yeah, so have to. There's like you did the pod thing.
Yeah. So he was in our bubble, and sometimes we played Magic, but like we did pick up a campaign that went on for a while. And he was the DM and a character. So we had 3 characters and a DM. And it's weird to me because I know a lot of people obviously started watching some of those shows or went back. We have time now.
Yeah.
And I always felt like it's kind of like, as an example, I refuse to listen to a podcast when I'm recording, on a day I'm recording, because I don't want anything else in my head from another conversation. And so like when that campaign was going on, I was like, I'm sure I will enjoy these other D&D things, but I don't want to be influenced by them. The only thing that squeaked through that we watched was Harmon Quest. But that was so outlandish. I was like that. None of us are that funny. So it's fine.
It's just so far divorced from who we are as people. Yeah.
And so that was fun. And he eventually found a house an hour and 15 minutes away. So like we don't quite have the regular every Thursday kind of, getting back to it. But we try and game a bit. And if not, maybe this is I don't know what you would call this, but we're now trying to. He was addicted. He got addicted to his phone for a while. I'm not going to throw him under the bus, but he kind of got addicted. And this is my one friend who kept this dumb phone for longer than anyone else. Yeah. And I think maybe he kind of knew, like, oh no, I think I'm going to like this a lot.
Yeah, got to get that sweet, sweet dopamine.
And so I keep yelling I've yelled at him every time he's over and we're hanging out and he pulls out his phone. I'm like, I just yell at him. So for the last few times he leaves it in his car and we basically hang out like it's the 90s again. Like
you Pavloved him.
We talk, we maybe we'll play games, but like we try not to put on the TV or anything. We just kind of be so like truly social.
That's lovely.
And since I knew him back in the 90s, I'm like, remember we used to do this. There was no real internet. Like things took way too long to load. We're okay. Like you don't need to know everything.
Do you remember original YouTube? Like how long it would take?
No, because I skipped it. Like I was one of those people that like I remember the original GeoCities. All right. So, and having a site and just being like, this is great. And then just clicking like random or like neighbor or whatever and going to some other site and whatever. And then that disappeared. And I remember MySpace being a big deal and that completely falling off the face of the earth. And so like when YouTube starts and look, I also remember like Blip TV. And Vimeo's still around, actually, surprisingly.
Yes, it is.
And I remember Real Player. And so
Napster?
Yeah, well, that's LimeWire and Kazaa.
Kazaa. Yeah. Oh, the good times.
So but I remember all these things. I don't remember when I actually became a YouTube user. I mean, but it's well after the origins of YouTube because I didn't. I'm not saying I was like over it, but like there was a part of me that was like, I don't know if I want to watch videos on the internet. Yeah. I was that guy. I was like, I don't really that.
Oh no, I was very much part of the meme generation. So YouTube was really rising in popularity when I was in high school and at home with shitty internet. And then I got to go to college that had Ethernet. And it was like, I can watch Flash videos in like 2.5 minutes. It's amazing.
And that's, so I was ahead of you by enough that when I got to college and got wired internet, Ethernet, and then eventually Wi-Fi by my junior or senior year, it was like Christmas morning because it was like, LimeWire, I can download everything.
Did you have to go to like a class or an orientation where they were like, don't illegally pirate music, we'll charge you $10 million?
No.
Oh, that was part of our orientation.
I remember so I went to a very small liberal arts college, and I remember that sometime in my, I want to say sophomore year, we got in trouble because we found out that if you use the 10-10-220, you could get free long distance charged to the college.
Oops.
As opposed to, so apparently people within my class rang up one heck of a bill that we never had to pay because it went to the phone.
That's amazing.
Not to anything else. So that was my, I was a part of that, I guess, because I'm
incredible.
It's just like, all right, well, yeah, I'll call my grandmother. Why not? It's free.
Yeah.
Like, whatever. It's like,
sticking it to the man.
Yeah. Like what? I mean, most of the people I know are finally out of debt from that experience. So,
what's that like?
I mean, most of us celebrated like there was no tomorrow.
Oh, I know. I
just
believe
like,
it.
oh my God, what is this? Yeah. So, What did you go for again?
So the first time around, I went for arts administration with a minor in vocal performance.
So what? I can't even get. What is arts administration?
So essentially like business, but for arts organizations. So like running a museum, a theater, an art gallery, things like that.
Okay. And I mean, obviously you just named a few things. Did you have one in mind? Like, was it like, I'm going to run a theater, I'm going to run a museum? Like what?
I wanted to run a theater or an opera house.
Okay. I mean, wait, okay. I spent some time on the stage crew, whatever. But I will say, what's the difference?
No, that's a completely fair question. So more and more, the differences are slighter.
Okay.
But generally, an opera house is designed with acoustics in mind.
Okay.
Because opera performers are not amplified.
Yeah.
And so the house really has to do some of the heavy lifting, making sure that the sound produced reaches the cheap seats. Whereas theaters are much more likely to, they come in a wider variety of designs. They, depending on their purpose, they're much more likely to be sort of modern or modernized.
Yep.
With sound systems and all of that other fun happy crap.
And I mean, is that still like a goal? Would that, I mean, if I were like to be like, hey, you want to run my theater? Like, is that something you'd still want to do?
I mean, in a heartbeat, absolutely. I do. So I am the drama director for a local school system.
Okay.
So I get to direct their elementary school and now middle school musicals every year, which is really exciting. We're just getting into the planning phase of that right now, which is awesome. And I love it. And I love working with the kids. But I did just this summer start back to finish a degree in social work with the goal of applying it in both like a therapeutic TTRPG methodology, but then also just providing like community facilitation and third space generation for families and parents, and just putting supports back into our communities that used to exist and then suddenly disappeared.
Yeah, that's all right. But before I forget to ask this, I'm going to give you the floor. You have a minute. Sell me on musicals. Now, before you begin, I want to state that as a member of the stage crew, mainly sound or lights, I loved doing plays.
Yeah.
I hated doing musicals. And it's not the musical's fault. It's just that at a certain point, and I love music, I can only listen to songs so many freaking times. And when you are like, and I still have this like, oh, it's a musical, and there's still a part of me that's like, oh, I still have flashbacks to like 14-year-old me being like, I've heard this song 15 times tonight. Can you save me?
I'm gonna go with the unpopular choice and say no. I can't save you.
All right.
And it's because I think people who love musicals, myself included, there's just a sense of sometimes words aren't enough. And so a musical kind of is there. It gives you another platform with which to express an emotional moment. And I say this again as a Meisner trained actor who emotional moments are my bread and butter. But just, I'm also someone who randomly breaks into song just in my regular life. So for me, it was very natural, but I understand that it is not everyone's cup of tea. And I absolutely would not try to ham fist anybody who was like, no thanks.
I mean, my wife loves Hamilton, and she saw it before she moved in. She saw it, I think, once or twice. And then obviously when it came out, we sat down and watched it together, and I was like, I liked that. I don't ever need to hear it again. Like that's very much where I am with musicals. Like,
and that's fair.
Once and done.
You tried it. It's fine.
I think maybe it would have been better had I not done any musicals in high school and college. I think not having been exposed to that kind of repetition, like, because for people that are like, oh, but it's just a song. It's like, yeah, but even, I don't know, pick your favorite band. Like, I mean, Dylan doesn't count because he never did the same song the same way, but like the Rolling Stones, Aerosmith, like these are bands that have done the same song for like 30, 40 years. They still put a different spin on it. But when you're doing it for people who are paying for a ticket, you can't. Like, this is what is expected. Hopefully they can perform it to some level of whatever. And so as someone who's got to hear that during all of the rehearsals and during whatever, there's an emotional scarring that I don't know that ever goes away.
Yeah, no, when I in college found out like how rigorous Broadway performance was and how like specific and spot on every single aspect, I was like, no, I'm so good.
Okay.
Never mind. Just kidding.
Now, what about comedy? Like, what about comedy? I mean, you like improv, so like, was stand-up ever a thing? I mean, obviously, look, you and I, I'm a little bit older than you, but you and I are the generation that grew up with Whose Line truly in the kind of like syndication. And so there were a lot of, from high school through college and beyond, like there were a lot of, hey, let's start an improv group. And like, obviously that was something that maybe was a little more underground before us, but for us and people after us, it's like, oh my God, let's do that. Yeah, let's 100%, let's do that. So, but there's a very different line between improv and troupe comedy versus just like, I'm going to do stand up.
Yeah.
But was that a track at some point?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
And it's so funny because I've had multiple, like several times a year, I get told like, oh, you should do stand up. You're really funny. Several of the people who have said that to me have been my therapists. And I'm like, that's probably not a good sign.
I don't know that's... Okay,
I'm not winning at therapy today. My therapist told me to pursue stand-up comedy.
I love a few stand-ups, but I will be the first to admit that the moment you go behind the curtain, these are some of of them are healthy now, but some of these people are the most damaged people you will ever meet.
Yes, correct.
And so I'm like, oh, it's kind of one of the reasons that I'm like, oh, thank God I'm not like friends with look, I love my friends. Some of them are pretty damaged and they're not comedians.
Yeah, no, truly. Listen, it's not a prerequisite, the comedian thing, but no, like stand-up comedy, again, so hard, so practiced and so pre-written and honed and a bunch of work that I'm just not prepared to do. I have all the love and respect in the world for stand-up comedians, but it was just never going to be a thing that drove me. And I see a lot of people cross over between improv and stand-up.
Yeah.
And if you can do that, bless, Godspeed. I am not that person. For me, ne'er the twain shall meet.
Okay. And we haven't covered it outside of tabletop. Like, are you gaming? Like, board,
all the time.
video? Like, is there never a game? I mean, I'll try anything once. Like, what's...
Oh yeah, I'll try anything once. Or I'll try anything twice. Shit. Because you never know. The first time could have been an off day.
That's true.
But no, I mean, I grew up on the Mario games and Legend of Zelda and for all of the things my siblings and I did not have in childhood, we always had a gaming system, and it was a result of a tragic accident that almost killed my oldest brother.
Oh. All right, but this is a good story, I'm guessing.
Oh, it's a good story. Yeah, he didn't die.
Yeah, all right. Okay.
I talked to him on the phone like 3 days ago. It's fine.
Okay.
So we lived in a very rural part of Pennsylvania. And, we were not the wealthiest people. And so my parents, for some reason, ended up with a secondhand, snowmobile, like run down, shitty snowmobile. And my brother was like 10 at the time because I had not been born yet. And he gets on the snowmobile and either he was like pressing down the throttle and didn't realize, or something had gone wrong, but the snowmobile crashed full speed into a tree. Okay. And he almost lost his leg. He didn't. He has the leg. He has a gnarly scar, but he can fully walk and it's fine. But as you can imagine, it was a long recovery process.
Yeah.
And so to occupy him, my parents got him an Atari. And we always forevermore had gaming systems. Never the year they came out, never the latest one, but we always had like a Super Nintendo and then an N64, and then I got a GameCube at some point. But yeah, we were always gamers.
I was not. My first true, if we discount the Game Boy.
The Game Boy.
If you discount that, though, my first console is the GameCube I bought myself in college.
Nice.
Because I got a computer when I asked for Nintendo. Like that was, it was a hand-me-down, but still, like that was it was fine. And I learned some things, but like I had to go to friends' houses to get that experience. Like to sit and watch somebody else play insert game from Nintendo or Super Nintendo, I had to go somewhere. I had to travel to do that.
Hearing you say that brought a thought forward of, do you think that's why Let's Plays are so popular on YouTube? Because so many of us grew up watching like siblings and friends play games that now we're just like, we sit on YouTube and watch strangers play games.
100%.
I never put that together.
There's because remember, even the quote unquote multiplayer of like say Super Mario Brothers was one at a time. So even if we were playing together, you're watching me and then I die and then I'm watching you. So
truly rooting for you to fall in the hole. So that
it's my turn. I want to go. Now, but there are. See, and I immediately go to one place with this, which is, yes, we all had that experience, but like I go to college where one of my friends disassembled his GameCube enough to flip the switch from English to Japanese to be able to play Japanese games, and he got Wind Waker imported like before the American release, but he didn't know any Japanese, so like he played it. We watched him, and he played it based on just symbols and colors of text within the game.
I would have immediately fallen in love with this man. When I tell you that I would have been so down bad for a nerd like that. That's so funny to me. Did he finish the game?
I believe he did. Yeah. And then
Amazing.
I think he played it again when we got it in English, and then So like,
what a champion. What an absolute hero.
But that's kind of like this thing of like, all of that existed. The Let's Play concept existed, but like, for you and your friend, whoever house had the console or whatever group you were in, that was the Let's Play. So yeah, of course, that's why it is. And I don't know why it resonates beyond that is the question. Be like, I know, like, so before our son was born, I mean, and we kept the pregnancy kind of quiet-ish, but at the time, Steph was streaming on Twitch. Maybe 2 or 3 times a week. And then she was, in her third trimester, and I basically took over the channel to play one of my favorite games because I had the Dolphin emulator, and it's like, I'm going to play Skies of Arcadia. Let's go. I'm going to do this. But it's a very long game. And I hadn't played it in maybe since college, or maybe during my post-college, I work in retail. I need some...
Yep.
But it had been... 15, 20 years since I had picked up the game. I don't know, some number. And so I played through it, and obviously as we record this, I haven't been back on Twitch since the birth of the child. It's been 6, 8, I don't know how many months, but it's been
a minute,
a bunch of time, right? In fact, I don't think I've streamed this year, let's say, or maybe I have. But I've only streamed once, and I didn't get that far in the game. But I will tell you, all of this is a preface to say that in that 15-year gap where between the last time I played it and when I started streaming it on Twitch on her channel, I would find Let's Plays to put on in the background because it's like, this is a comforting game to me. Yes. And while I'm at work and stressed out and cannot play it, I can put it over there, and somebody who's just playing it, not with commentary, just playing it. I just hear the sounds and the combat happens and I don't have to do anything. It's just there. There's a comfort that maybe our generation and below us have with video games that you find in older generations in syndication of television stuff that they just don't, it's just not that accessible. I don't know. I mean, so I know why it works for us. I don't know why it works for anybody below us. Cause it's like, well, you all have much easier access to everything. I don't know why you're not just playing it.
That when I introduced my spouse to Let's Plays, because I was the big Let's Play connoisseur in our relationship. And my spouse was like, this is stupid. Like, why would you watch someone else play a game that you could just play?
Yep.
And I was like, just watch a video with me. And now my spouse, like they'll be working because they work from home, and I'll come downstairs into the room they're working in and there'll be a Markiplier video up on the TV. And I'm like, that's what I thought.
Yeah. Yeah. We COVID was a big one for us. We weren't really a big Twitch, YouTube household until COVID. I think that's kind of pretty standard for a lot of people who weren't that big. We got into Minecraft, YouTube, I guess, if you will. And it just, because of the crossover with the way the multiplayer servers work, especially the ones that are YouTube and Twitch related, it's like, well, I like this person. Ooh, that guy was interesting. He showed up in this other thing. And then you just go there. And now it's like, now we're at a point where it's like, it depends. Like, you can pre-watch that video if you've got the time. You know, maybe I'll watch this one, you watch that one, and you just tell me what happened or whatever. There's just, and that's just Minecraft. That's not even going beyond into other games.
Oh yeah, no, that's fully real. And that is a struggle that my spouse and I also have. I'm like, wait, you watched this without, because we share a YouTube channel. Oh yeah. And it's like, you watched this without me? You bastard.
Yeah. Although sharing a YouTube channel is easier because it's like, it's in the history. Just watch what you know what I've watched, as opposed to like, did you watch this one? I think I don't remember.
Well, and even harder than that is like the stuff that we've started and then one or the other or both of us have fallen asleep. And so we have to stop it or be like, oh God, how far did we get?
And sometimes, and there's also like, sometimes I'll just get bored because it's like, oh, like you really want to watch this perspective, but I want to watch this perspective of the kind of similar thing. And I don't, or something that is unique to maybe media of today is that these people that are putting out videos on YouTube also stream on Twitch. And so if you're saving a video to watch with your spouse, but you watch something live on a stream, you might be spoiled for the video that you are saving, right? There's a whole different, kind of like reading a review in the newspaper that's like, and so-and-so dies. Like, wait, what? I didn't even see that movie yet.
How dare.
Yeah, so it's a new media landscape. I don't know. It's very hard to. I'll ask because I'm fairly good. How are you at saving things? Like truly saving. Like, all right, this is the 7th video I've found that was released today by somebody we like, and you're in the meeting or whatever. I can't.
I'm pretty good. Only once or twice have I like spoiled a thing for myself. And it was usually because, and it was almost always a dropout thing, like trailers, especially trailer drops for like new seasons of Dimension 20 would come up on my TikTok feed. And I'd be like, shit, no, I have to wait until I get home. We can watch it together. So TikTok was what was kind of fucking me with that. Otherwise, I'm pretty good. It is one of the few areas in my life where I have a decent amount of self-control.
Okay. Well, look, you take the wins where you can.
Yeah, absolutely. And I will take that dub.
So what are the other mediums? Like, we've covered a lot of mediums. Like, are you a reader? Do you like music? Like,
love music. I actually, 2023, I went to a concert for the first time.
Like ever?
Well, so I had gone to one concert in high school. It was a Hillary Duff concert.
Okay.
And I went with my best friend because her mom had gotten tickets for her and her little sister, because her little sister wanted to go. And then her mom had to like work or like something that night. And my best friend calls me and she's like, please come with me to this concert, so I'm not the only person between like 13 and 40.
Okay.
And I was like, all right. And it was a good concert. Like, I didn't hate it.
I can't fault any of the Teeny Bopper shows because while you may not like the music, they put a lot into entertainment, the value of the performance.
Like, my girl was singing her heart out. Like, she crushed it. And it was a fine concert, like whatever. But so like first concert that I cared about and like planned to go, and it was Lizzo in Cleveland. And I ended up going to like 6 more concerts that same year at the same venue because I was like, oh, this rules. And then by the end of the year, I was like, I'm so tired. I don't want to, if I want to listen to the song, I'm going to listen to it by myself in my house because other people are exhausting.
Yeah, I am. I can't remember how I said it once. Like it's not an introvert. I'm very much an introvert, but I can turn on the extrovert if I have to in short spurts, but it is, like it'll take a week to recover from like a concert or whatever. And when it came to music specifically, like I used to go to concerts when I was a lot younger, and big concerts, little club concerts. And then I don't know, like something happened. Well, first in full disclosure, the junior year of my, of college, of my undergrad, and I was a 17-year-old college freshman. So age wise, I was only, 20 at this point, but I was the oldest 20-year-old you have ever met. Like, I don't know what happened in the sophomore to junior summer that to me, but I came back for my junior year, not as an upperclassman, but as a senior citizen, basically. I was like, I don't want to...
As an elderly person.
Yeah, I was like, I don't want to do anything. I'm completely done with all of this stuff. I'm just out. And that was basically when I went, all right, I'm done. And I've been to like 1 or 2 concerts since, but it's kind of like diminishing returns. I'm kind of like, no, if it's new music, I'll listen to it in the comfort of my own home. And if it's old music, I'll listen to it in the comfort of my home. Like I'm done. And I don't know. There are other things that happened that also made me an old man at that point as well. And I don't know what it was, but I was the oldest 20-year-old you've ever met.
I wish I had more of that experience because at 20, I was very much like chomping at the bit to get out and experience things. And I wish I could have had a little bit of that, more of that, like kind of frame of mind of just like, no, we're good.
Yeah.
I don't, so good.
But here's the thing. I can't explain it. Like it genuinely, I woke up one morning and I was like a very old man in a very, in a 20-year-old body. I don't, no clue. And it's funny as I've gotten older, when I turned 30, when I turned 40, my friends who have known me since then are like, oh, you're finally aging into it. Like it's now finally age appropriate for you to be like, no, of course I'm not going to a concert. I'm old. Like there was no reason for you to say that back then. Now it kind of makes a little more sense.
Yeah, we'll make exceptions. Like an Irish music band we like, the High Kings, comes to Akron every year, and so we go see them because they always do a good show. And then Otto Hart is coming to Cleveland in September, and I have a ticket to go just by myself.
Okay.
Because I like them. So like I will make exceptions when I'm like, okay, it's gonna be a chill crowd, it's gonna be fine, but I can't do like. So I saw at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse Lizzo, Simple Plan, and Paramore all in the same year, and it's like, I'm tired. This is so much. Like the shows were phenomenal. But like the swarm of people, I was like, I'm so good.
So
like, I'm done.
Before I became a very old 20-year-old, I was a normal 18, 19-year-old. And I remember going to see Blink 182 on the Take Off Your Pants and Take Off Your Pants and Take Off Your Jacket, Pants and Jacket tour or whatever. Yeah. And I just remember, because this is my favorite concert story of all time. It has nothing to do with the band. Or it does, but it doesn't. Yeah. So I don't remember who opened for him. But there is a woman in, I'm going to say her 30s or 40s, with 2 11-year-olds, give or take a year. Because
thank you.
And look, this is Blink 182. This is, obviously this is after Enema of the State. But if you only know the radio hits, you've never listened to the rest of any album from Blink-182. You have no idea.
Yeah.
Why
are you going to the concert?
This woman had no idea. So Blink comes out, and the stage show is just the three of them with with the word fuck in flames in the background. That's it. And so when the curtain opens and they light the word, this woman turned around, because she was in a couple of rows in front of us, turned around, and I feel like I saw her die, because she
saw her soul leave her body.
Yes, there's no way she can protect I don't know, her son and her son's friend, or whoever these two kids that are with her. She cannot protect them for what is about to happen for the next 90 minutes.
Amazing.
And that after her soul left her body, I just watched the concert. I probably should have spent a little more time. I should have checked in and saw, is she alive again? Has she given up? Is she enjoying it now? I have no idea. I just know that was one of those moments that you'll never forget, because you just go someone didn't do their homework. I don't know what to tell you. And I just remember Take Off Your Pants and Jacket has some racy stuff on the album. I know Rock Show's on that album, but there's some really crazy stuff. I'm not even going to say it here. I don't mind language, but there's some stuff on that album. Yeah. And so I wasn't surprised, but what a lady.
That sweet woman. Oh my God.
Yeah. And now I have a little human I take care of, and you have a little human you take care of. And I go I'm not going to be, I tell myself this now, we haven't hit a year yet, but I'm not going to be he's going to make mistakes, and that's fine, but he's going to come to his own stuff, and that's fine. But let's be real. He's going to learn to curse from me.
Yes. 100%. I was stunned that my child's first word was not fuck. It was in fact cracker, which I thought was weirder.
All right. Food is a massive motivator, though.
Yeah, it is. Kiddo was a late talker, and my mother-in-law is nothing if not persistent. I love this woman to pieces. And so she was feeding him Ritz crackers and would repeat it and kind of wait for a second. And so he finally figured out, if I say cracker faster, she'll just give it to me. So that was what motivated Kiddo to start talking. And so I was honestly, bribery.
And you say that, and now I'm thinking, should I start a poll and see if I could get some betting action on what his first word's gonna be, and can I coach him up? He's already he's oral. I'll say that he's talking. He makes a lot of noise. It's your mom and I met through podcasting. It's not a shock that you're going to be a talker, but. First words, I don't know. He's been around. I'll edit without headphones so I can hear him, and he'll be in an extra car seat we have, basically as another, just listening to Dad talk to somebody. And I just go well, he's hearing it all now, so we'll figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, we fully would just watch actual plays and Dimension 20 and everything with Kiddo in the room, and there's no holds barred there. And I don't think Kiddo swears. I don't think I've ever heard them swear, at least not in my presence, and school hasn't said anything to me.
Well, there you go. That's
it's just another part of language, and it doesn't serve their purposes, so they haven't picked it up yet.
I mean, look, you and I can talk again in a decade, and
check in. Yeah.
I know, because I know, even in the last 5.5 months, things change, right? And so I know that change is the only constant that I'm gonna have over the next 20, 30 years, whatever.
Yeah.
And so I'm all right with it, but it's also I know maybe it's because I am a talker. I'm I can't wait till you can talk, kid.
It's the best.
Yeah.
It's so good.
People are why are you rushing it? I'm I want to know what's in his head.
Yes, thank you.
How
felt people looked at me like I was crazy when I said that.
But how can you not? You love this child like no other, but you want to know. Like it would be like having a partner who doesn't talk to you. And that's like not a healthy relationship. So like, of course we want to know what's going on.
So, well, let me ask you this, and I have a reason. Do you like work with kids? Have you ever done anything with child development or anything?
When in college, I had a job helping at a youth, like an after school youth program, whatever. And it was just like daycare for older kids, I guess is what it was. So like, we'd play guitar, we'd talk, we'd, whatever, just make sure they don't hurt each other or do stupid stuff. What a
job that could be.
Right? Like it's just all right. But yeah, nothing great. Okay. Like, yeah.
So I ask that because I was a nanny for a decade, and 8 years of that was for the same family.
Okay.
And I started when the oldest kid was the week she turned 4 months old, and then kept through until the younger kids started school. So solid 8 years.
Yeah.
And I remember when I started and I was like, infancy is my favorite. They're little, they're squishy, they're cute, they're snuggly. It's great. And then she became a toddler and I was like, oh man, toddlers are hilarious. Like, I think this might be my favorite stage. And then she got to the preschool age and I was like, oh, you have thoughts in your little brain. Like, this might be my favorite stage. And I found that as she got older, I was like, oh, I just like you as a person and getting to know you better, so that by the time second kiddo was born, I was like, yeah, infants are cute, but like, I want to get in your little brain and
I want to know
what's in there.
Yeah.
And the same thing with my kid, like adorable baby, super squishy and snuggly and slept through the night immediately. But like, now that we can talk to each other and have, it's so good. It's the best. I'm living it up. It's so good. I can't recommend it enough.
I'm not much of a gamer anymore. Could I be? I was once. I could probably be again. It doesn't have to be a TTRPG like Dungeons & Dragons or Pathfinder, a card game like Magic the Gathering or Pokemon. It could be a video game or a board game. It's been a while since I played Stratego or Risk, for example. Still, these are all better examples than the icebreaker games at company retreats, which is why they're called games. They want to invoke fun. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But your friends, your family, a game night with them could be a fun way to disconnect from everything else. Isn't that the point of games? Escape? Just like books or movies or television, only with games, you always, or a lot of the time, get to choose single player or multiplayer. Regardless of your choice, choose to play more. It's good for you. And of course, most importantly, you don't have to like everything. Games, musicals, books, movies, comedy, music, to each their own. Try a new thing, but don't force it. Thanks for listening to the Palmer Files episode 164. And now for the official business. The Palmer Files releases every 2 weeks on Tuesdays. If you're still listening, I encourage you to join the discussion. You can find all related ways to contact Kat, the Dungeon Mom, and myself in the show notes. You can see all of Kat's respective links at linktree/Kat, the Dungeon Mom. The music for this episode was provided by Henno Heitur. Email and comments can be sent to this show at thepalmerfiles@gmail.com. And remember, your home for all things Agent Palmer is agentpalmer.com. All right, Kat, do you have one final question for me?
Yeah. So I, this year, decided that I was going to go to all of the gaming conventions. They weren't all gaming conventions. I'm lying. All the conventions I could swing, which ended up being 7.
Okay.
Which was a lot. So I still have conventions on the brain. So I guess my question is, do you do like conventioning? Do you go to conventions? And if so, like, why?
I haven't. I have, but not in a very long time.
Okay, fair enough.
So I know they weren't conventions, but when I was in, let's say, high school, I worked at a little gaming store, and occasionally, as the youngest employee, I would tag along to, at the time, what would have been Magic the Gathering Pro Tour qualifiers, I think they would have been called, or regional qualifiers at the time. Yeah. And we would get a team, and it would basically be first one to lose has to go back to the booth. So there was a financial incentive, but like, hey, we're there, so like, let's see if somebody can win something. And that was my first true like convention experience. Okay. In some kind of way. And when you weren't playing, you were walking around and you're like, and look, I understand that like Magic the Gathering is not for everybody, but like I can now look back and equate it to like, oh, like this makes sense. Like there's a million booths just devoted to Magic the Gathering, but like how is that any different than a million booths just related to Star Trek or Star Wars? Like it's not any different. And so that's really my big kind of like con experience as far as like, oh, we would go to like Rhode Island or like places in New York or whatever. I think we went to some places in PA too. We were based in PA, but we didn't really do much here. And then then you almost have to fast forward until like after college. There were a couple local comic conventions / geek conventions. They weren't comic, but they were kind of like pop culture adjacent, where it's like, oh, we've got a replica Back to the Future, we've got a replica kit, and inside there's some cosplayers and some people drawing stuff. Like, all right, well, yeah. So I went to a bunch of those, which is surprising to me now that I think about it, because in between those two massive chunks of time, I had my first panic attack, and then they never left. And so I just have...
they do that. Yeah, they show up and they move in.
Yeah, so I just have social anxiety. So thinking back on but I still managed to go one of the cons, which doesn't exist anymore, did well enough. Like I saw Peter Mayhew talk, and I saw Nichelle Nichols talk. Like there were some names at these things, and I don't know. Maybe it was because I was still a blogger. I mean, I was a blogger I still am, but I would write about it. So maybe there was a kind of like, I'm going to experience this for myself, but I'm also like an outsider looking in. I don't know what it is. And recently my wife and my best friend went to PAX Unplugged. I did not. Now, there's a reason. They are I am like the reluctant, like I will have fun when you get me to play the game, but I'm reluctant to say yes to playing the game. So like they went because they are the tabletoppers. Like that's fine. Like I'll play Magic the Gathering any day of the week, but like if you want to get any TTRPG going or any board game going, it's like you have to convince me, and then I'll probably have fun when we do it. But I'm not up for hoarding board games. And so I was like, I'm not necessarily going to be the guy to go, but like, I don't like, if you two want to go, I'm not going to stop you. Yeah. And so they went and they had a good time. My wife came back with more games than she would have had I gone with her. Like, so it's like, fine. It's
a risk you take. That's the price you pay for staying home.
So you can, that's fine. And other than that, I know it's not truly a con, but it has the feel of one. We haven't been back in 2 years, but we have gone to the Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair.
Yes,
which is not necessarily a convention, but it's got the same atmosphere.
Yeah, no, here's the thing though. So like board game convention people, Ren Fair people, and Kinksters, that trio is almost a circle. Like that Venn diagram, it's not fully a circle, but they are holding hands.
Yes. So that's, probably, I'm still not sure about, I'm thinking 1.5-year-old is a little bit easier of a sell for me to take to Ren Fair than 8-month-old. But I haven't, don't you dare, because when this comes out, When this comes out, the season will be over. So I don't.
No, I am gonna push back on that a little bit.
Yeah.
Because when they're little and squishy and they don't want to run around, you can baby wear them, you can put them in the stroller, and like they just are where you want them to be. 1.5-year-olds want to fucking go and do what they want to do, and they have learned to temper tantrum. Like,
I mean,
there's a window, man.
But here's the thing.
A window.
But I will say, as someone who, the last time we went, which was not my first time, but it was my first time as an adult.
Yeah.
I saw the two things I wanted to do, and I just went with them wherever they wanted to go. So if a 1.5-year-old wants to run around, I'm completely fine seeing the entire fair through whatever he wants to do. That's fair. They can go off, and I will be like, all right, what? There's a lot of shiny things and a lot of people dressed weird. What do you want to do? Just don't say anything inappropriate, kid. Like, let's go, So that's it. I don't know. Like, I know if the local one ever came back, I would probably go.
Yeah.
It's a lot. I know. Let's put it this way. I don't manage my anxiety with drugs. I manage it just, I guess, as best I can without. And so
like pure audacity and spite.
Yeah. So I whenever I can travel less, as an example, or whenever it's in a place I'm familiar with. So if the local one ever comes back, I mean, I'm probably there in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
And I'm, as much as I hate the internet and I always say I'd shut it down or turn it back to dial up and just make people wait again. Like I've met a lot of people, some that are as close as you, like you and I share a state border. I mean, look, I'm on the other side of Pennsylvania. So,
all right.
But the idea of going to Ohio because I know other people there, now you as well, like it would be like, all right, well, I can make, if I can find a way to find a place that's central to the 7 people I know in Ohio, like I can make it worth my while and, have a home base and, kind of do that stuff. And if it could be around a convention, that'd be great. But I don't know. There's a part of me that I'm a little wasted on a convention. And I'll only say this. The last time I was at a convention, I didn't have the podcast, but I had the blog. And the blog had a Q&A series. I spent however much time to go in. I went around to a few things, bought a few things, walked down Artist Alley, and I met 2 people because I spent 45 minutes talking to each of them. And then it was like, I'm getting hungry. I got to go. And so it was like, there were all these other people I probably could have met or like talked to. And it's like, no, I spent 90 minutes with these 2 people.
Yeah.
And I don't, as much as that's cool. And I know now that I've gotten to know a few more artists that they're like, it's boring. So if you want to come and talk, that's the best. It's like, it is, but I'm paying like $30 to get in and talk to 2 people for it's like there is a limit to my craziness as far as like what I'm willing to pay for. And so that's kind of like where I fall. I'm like, I don't know, maybe, who knows?
No, and I think that's real. You mentioned social anxiety, which is another thing you and I share. And then we talked a little bit earlier about like gaming outside of TTRPGs. And my spouse and their family are huge board gamers.
Okay. And
because we live in Ohio, Origins Game Fair is just in Columbus.
Yep.
So that was my first ever convention for anything. And the first
How
time
long ago was that compared to this year where you went to so many?
So that was 2017.
Okay. So a good chunk of time. Let's jump real quick. What convinces you to go from like, that's my first one and I kind of liked it, to like this year we're like, I'm going to do all of them?
So it wasn't a linear progression.
Okay.
So we went to Origins, and it must have been 2019. Because we were like, okay, this time, I loved it. And I was like, all right, this time we're going to get a connected hotel and we're going to do it right. But then it was COVID.
Yep. Okay.
So we didn't go. And then in 2021, we also didn't go because I had a child.
Yeah.
And I was like, June, no. But we did make Gen Con, which is just in Indianapolis. So a little bit further, but not crazy. And I absolutely fucking hated it. It was so big and it was so overwhelming and I didn't know what I was doing. And I was like, I'm never doing this again. This is terrible. Fast forward to last year.
Okay.
My dad passed away in June. So I missed Origins. And I was like, all right, well, I'll go to Gen Con instead. And I was into TTRPGs. So, and a bunch of companies were like, hey, come GM a certain number of hours of games for us at a convention and we'll buy your badge.
Oh, nice.
And I was like, all right, great. So I applied to several, got accepted by 2, and then ended up going with Monty Cook Games, who publishes the Cypher system, No Thank You Evil, all of Numenera, all that stuff. And I was like, I'm just going to try it. I DM'd, I think, 16 or 18 hours of games that convention. And I was like, oh, I'm a working breed. I need a job.
Okay. You can't just go walk through. You need a reason. Like,
yeah, I gotta be there doing stuff.
Okay.
And I was like, all right, cool. And then while I was there, I was like, hey, I really love you guys, because they treat us so well. They take such good care of us during conventions. They buy us dinner. They really take good care of us, and they're lovely people, the whole crew at Monty Cook. And I was like, hey, what do I have to do to like work with you guys more? And they said, funny you should ask. We're about to release a grant program for new content creators to stream Cypher system games.
Oh, nice.
Or Cypher related content. And I was like, bet, I'll be there. I applied, I got the grant, I did the show. It did fine. Some people watched it, not a ton, but that was great. But I started building a name for myself in the AP community. And I was like, all right, I'm going to commit to this. And I launched the Cat the Dungeon Mom brand. And I was like, well, the best way to meet people is to go out and meet people.
Yep.
So yeah. So Origins, Gen Con, which are within a month of each other.
Yeah.
Dragon Con, which is 3.5 weeks after Gen Con in Atlanta, Georgia, because I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
CypherCon, which is online, Gamehole Con out in Wisconsin, PAX Unlimited, and then I'm doing a local con I did a local con called Con on the Cob, which is sponsored by Oddmall, if you're familiar with them. So like, I made bad choices, but I got to meet a shitload of people and made connections and walked up to introduce myself to people who then greeted me by name and were like, hey, I love your stuff. And I'm like, what is my life? So my life got very cool very fast. And I don't take that for granted. But also sometimes it means going to 7 conventions in an 8-month period and regretting your life, and your 4-year-old being like, who the fuck are you when you get home from a weekend?
So are you going to pare down next year?
Oh yeah, there's no fucking way. Okay. Absolutely no way.
You're still going to do like what, 4, but the spread out like every other one?
Yeah, like probably Dragon Con is mostly to meet one of my players from my AP Tender Hollow. Gamehole Con is like Monty Cook's big convention, like the whole crew goes. So that's mostly just to like hang with them. Like the 2 big ones are really Gen Con and PAX U. I'd like to do a West Coast con. I've never gone out there for a con. The Midwest is real. We're lousy with them. It's just a con around every corner.
Yeah, well, I mean, it does mean that if you skip, it's kind of like a reliable train, though. If you skip this one, there will be another.
There's always another one. Yeah, exactly. I'm also like the queen of FOMO. Like I hate the idea.
Oh, we got to break you with that. That's not good.
I have paid a lot of therapists good money, and it's still here. So if you can do it, like blessings be upon your house.
We'll exchange numbers and we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. I want to be where the people are.
Okay. And I only sometimes.
Yeah. Like you were talking about being an introvert. And I was just like, I also would consider my spouse thinks I'm an extrovert. I consider myself an introvert, but I'm also just like a performer at heart.
Well, yeah, but you're not but even though you're performing for people, like how many? Yeah, no, no, because like people are like, how can you be an introvert and talk to people and put it out on the internet? I'm like, I talk to one person at a time, and I share that. Like that's not.
Yeah, but no, even when I'm at the conventions and doing like, there is very much a big element of performance to it. Like it's not that I'm being
You're not being fake, but like you gotta.
But there is like an elevated dialed up to 11. Like I'm generally dialed up to 9, but like when you meet me in person, it's very much a like, hey, how you doing? It's like, girl, take a Xanax, calm down. You gotta relax. I fully had, so I GM'd 34 hours of games at Gen Con this year, and I genuinely had no voice for the 2 days after I got back home.
Well,
my husband was like, what is wrong with you? It was like so many things. Where would you
so
like to start?
Yeah.
How much time do you have? Like,
yeah,
it's going to be a long conversation, bruh. Oh, amazing.